ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः।
Dear friends, welcome back to the study of the Bhagavad Gita. We were studying the 4th chapter and we were paying a great attention to the shloka number 9, verse number 9. 4 more shlokas from the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th is a section by itself, whereby Sri Krishna, at his age, when he was born and he lived, for that time society, he wanted to explain the concept of performance of yagyas and other such ritualistic activity which came into being much before the advent of Krishna in the early Vedic period. I have told you before, it wouldn't be out of place to quickly mention to you how it all developed. In those ancient days, at the dawn of human civilization, when humans were living in hills and forests, in glades and dales, totally involved, absorbed in nature and with nature. There was nothing else but nature created by God and the humans. At that time, humans found out by their deep sense of observation and analysis, there are such forces active in nature which, when benign to the humans prosper. And when they are not benign to the humans, it's destructive. So just as human sentiment is concerned, they started seeing those aspects of natural forces at play in nature as an aspect of the divine power. So they thought, if we can keep them well satisfied, in good humor, by our own decent behavior, there will be no cause for them to be annoyed and be destructive. They will be always pleased with us, happy with us, and they will bestow their benign blessings to us. Absolutely human. Look at in today's society. We do not have the courage to displease a man in power, in authority, because he can do us harm. And if he is kept well-humored, not by sycophancy, but by correct behavior pattern, we have no fear for him, and he, out of his sense of duty, will look after us. This human sentiment is human since the dawn of history, up to date. So what happened? They were observers of natural phenomena. And they were observers through what avenue the divine strength, the divine power displayed. In fire, in water, in air, in earth, and in ether. And they deified these channels. they deify this Varuna Devata, Indra Devata, Vayu Devata, Agni Devata, Devas, effulgent of eternal infinite power and force, because a huge, I would say, bushfire can burn us to death in a twinkling of an eye, or a tsunami can destroy the whole habitation. A storm and a tempest or a cyclone or an ice storm, call it by any name, can destroy us totally. So it is better we follow a code of conduct, a pattern of behavior by means of which these forces are kept in their proper places, proper shape, in proper humor, so that they continue to be benign, blissful, compassionate on us or to us. Common human psychology. This is how philosophical thoughts in India developed. We call it the evolution of spiritual thoughts in India since the dawn of civilization or dawn of human history. Observers of nature graduates into worshippers of force in nature, and that graduates into concept of multiple godheads, that graduates into one supreme God, Ishvara, Parameshvara. And finally, what is the relation between that Parameshvara, the supreme being, and myself? I am a created being, created by him, and he has permeated the whole world. Therefore, he may be in me also. Then let me try and understand the question, who am I, what am I? And the introspective journey starts from extrovert attitude. Introvert attitude starts, who am I, what am I? What is the relation with my maker? And there also we find three different stages of growth. God is, I am, he is infinite, and I am finite, I am microscopically small. All I can do is pay my obeisance, pay my respect, pay my gratitude. I may be devoted to him, and I surrender myself at his feet. The concept of dualism, Dvaita Bhava. But humans keep on evolving. Says, no, how could it be two? He says, he's indivisible one. How can there be the concept of two? Let me dive deep into my understanding. And I come to this understanding just like a spark of fire is fire, just like a drop of water is water, and a bushfire is a fire. A bushfire is of infinite dimension, quantitatively, fire-wise, qualitatively, the bushfire is a fire, and the spark of fire is a fire. Qualitatively, we are the same. Quantitatively, we are different. A drop of water and the mass of ocean water. Water-wise, they are the same. Measure-wise, they are different. The concept of Vishishta Advaitavad. That is, we are not separable, but quantity-wise, there's a difference between the earth and the sky, earth and the sun. That is the distinction. they go further and ultimately they devoid of all adjuncts and upadhis that I am not this, I am not this, I am what I am. And its absolute concept, he and me are one. That is where the journey ends. The journey is what I am, and I have now, through this long journey of being introspective observers of external nature, we slowly and slowly graduate ourselves and ultimately find ourselves to be one with God. This is known as evolution of spiritual thoughts in India. Now, this Gita comes, say, 5,000 to 7,000 years before today. It's about 3,000 years before Christ. About 3,000, we are not very sure. No academician is sure. They give you a time span. Now, Gita was about 7,000 years ago. But these ideas took thousands of years to grow, and from the starting to the end is much, much beyond Gita. Gita is summarizing those ideas, how we developed and how we grew. We are now in the concept that no human being is without the concept of sense of duty. There's no human being. There's a concept of duty, and that concept has a tremendous hold on us. And that concept of duty comes to me by my culture, by my education, by my effort, and by my innate desire to be better than what I am today. So the effort of betterment of my personality remains. So, in the Vedas, there was a dictate that, look, that sense of duty must be very well organized as far as performing your duties are concerned. And it was very well classified, very well demarcated. From 5 to 16, that period of life is known as Brahmacharya Ashrama. Training and education to face the world squarely. Tertiary education, but at that time, tertiary education did not mean what it is today. It meant what was required at that day. That is, from 16 to 50, the Garastha Ashrama, you have to live according to a certain decorum, according to certain behavior pattern. What was it based on? To live in harmony with respect with the forces available to you in nature, cultivate it in such a manner that you prosper. Garastha Ashrama, family householder's life. And after your children are able, they are well settled, now you have no business to interfere with their life. Let them live their life. You go on retirement, Banaprastha. You go and live in the hills and forests, you and your wife. Inseparable too, because you are married by the vow, you are bound by the vows of marriage. That is Banaprastha Ashrama. And ultimately, if you so desire, you go into Sannyasa Ashrama. Renounce everything and try to cultivate that realization of oneness with the divine. These are the 4 stages of life. In Grihastha Ashrama, you have duties. Duty to raise your family, duty to look after your family, duty to care for your family, duty to be prosperous in this world, and so on and so forth. How do you go about it? The life was so woven at that time that it had to be always related to God. Without God, life of a man is as worthy as life of an animal. So, it was detailed what we know as rituals as of today. Right from the morning till the end, when you go to bed at night, right from the morning to the time you retire at night, your life is well regulated, disciplined by code of conduct and behavior. And those code of conduct and behavior was known as yagas, yagyas, vratas, upacharana, and so on and so forth. Let us not bother about the details here. Now we are in a phase in the study of the Gita where Sri Krishna, in those 5 shlokas of which we have read the first one, that is, any activity done with ulterior motive, not with that motive of that I expect nothing, but as a pursuer of correctness, pursuer of thoroughness, pursuer of perfection, pursuer of excellence, I perform yagas and yagyas for the pleasure of my beloved God. That's it. Let God do whatever He wants to do to me. I don't expect anything. I am freeing myself from bondage of expectations. Expectations of that infallible law of cause and its effect. Whatever the effect is, I am not bothered. I am a perfectionist by my profession. And I do it perfectly, offering to God. There it ends. We have studied that in the previous shloka. Now, there are people who want to enjoy this world. Nothing wrong about it. That is the phase of growth he or she is in. There's nothing to look down upon. Ultimately, this world will teach its lessons to her that it is all transitory. And your expectation is a cause of your bondage, and it makes you swing like a pendulum in this world between pleasure and pain, happiness and sadness. And a time will come, you will say, according to Swami Vivekananda's poem, oh, I'm tired of this unending farce. This dream does please no more, ever running, never reaching, nor even a distant glimpse of shore. I'm tired of this unending farce. Is there any other way out for me? And then it dawns on to you, why don't I create an unbreakable, unchangeable, eternal relationship with my Creator, with my Maker in heaven, my God? There will be no mood swings then. I'll be one with Him all the time. And that is why the so-called abstract philosophy enters into our life. So don't condemn that if I am a man of the world, I want to live in this world and I'd like to enjoy this world with my 5 sense organs and my 5 active organs. Give him that freedom. The world will teach him a lesson. He will feel tired one day. In our Sanskrit language, it is said he will become alam pratyayavan. Enough is enough for me. Alam is enough is enough. I have my stomach full of it. I don't want. I'm up to the neck. Enough of it. I don't want. And he migrates into that. Here in this shloka that we are going to study today, he's speaking about the people who really want to enjoy the world. And it is not the freedom of the licentious, irresponsible licentiousness. It is a freedom with responsibility. Beautiful. I just can't explain to you the beauty of these thoughts. Let us read this shloka now. Shloka number 10. Saha yagya praja srishtva puro uvacha prajapati. Prajapati, pura. In the old ages, at the dawn of civilization, the Prajapati is the creator of this universe. He created this world. He created you and me, Praja, and he created it along with sense of duty. The concept of duty may change, may be different to different people, but the sense of duty is inborn in humans. He says that in the ancient days, Prajapati, the creator of this universe, created all of us. While creating all of us, he created the innate sense of duty in us. Saha yagya. Plural, saha yagya. Pura, in the ancient age, Prajapati created. Sahajagya praja srishtva puro vacha Prajapati. What did he say? Anena prashabishadham. Let us stop here. Anena. In this particular yogic fashion, yagya, the responsible duty of your life, in that particular fashion, you live your life and you prosper. Prasavishwadham. You prosper. Anena, by this. Anena, by this methodology of yagya, performing duties of your life to please the various aspects of the divine, and they will be benign and blissful and compassionate to you, and they will fulfill your wishes. I wish this happens to me, and I do this. There were performances, ritual performances, when you performed it to gain wealth, power, pelf, money, wealth, even children, progeny. Putreshti, dhaneshti, jasheshti, all of them. Ishti is yagya. Ishta is yagya. I will it, I do it according to dictates, and I wait for the results thereof. Everything is enunciated. If you want to fulfill your duty, live in such a manner, behave in such a manner, let your behavior pattern and code and conduct of life be detailed, and follow it. If you do so, Prasavishadham. You will be prosperous. Your wishes will be fulfilled. Vaha, for you all. Ishta Kamadhu. Let this performance of your duties in this manner be the fulfiller of your Ishta Kama, whatever you want to achieve. This was the way to achieve, not by the rat race of today. Today we want to achieve, and it is a rat race. Climbing on somebody's shoulder, putting somebody down to be on the up. Nothing doing. Do it in an ordained, perfect, ethically correct conduct as mentioned in the scripture. What does he say now? Let us summarize. This is the code of conduct that you have to follow to fulfill your desires. Follow it correctly, thoroughly, perfectly. Do it the way that I ask you to do, and you wish for the results thereof. You will receive those results thereof, and you will be prosperous. Anena prasavishadham. Be prosperous by doing it in this manner and this manner and this manner. And let that be the fulfiller of all your desires and wishes. Esha Vaha Ishta Kama Dhuk. Giver of your desired efforts, desired intentions. That is shloka number 10. But he puts it so cogently that a modern man, if he understands it in its right manner, you say, oh my, how logical, how rational, how correct it is. What does he say in the next shloka, shloka number 11? Devan bhavayata anena. Let me break it up straight away, otherwise it will be a bit confusing. Anena devan bhavayata. That's it, a self-contained half a sentence. With this methodology, with this procedure, which you do not violate, you follow it absolutely, correctly, perfectly, thoroughly. Devan bhavayataha. You are respectfully worshipping the various aspects of natural forces. They are considered Deva. Indra Deva, Varuna Deva, Parjanya Deva, Vayu Deva, Prithvi Deva. All of them are manifestations of that primary cosmic energy, primordial energy. You perform your duties of life with due respect to all these forces of nature. If you do so, in return, te deva bhavantu vaha. Those forces of nature whom you are propitiating, whom you are worshipping to, they will be pleased with you and they will think well of you. They will be in a mood to share their bounties with you. Parashparam bhavayantaha. Mutual. Parashparam bhavayanta means you do whatever you have to do for God to God. That aspect of the divine. I want my field which I have plowed. Oh dear Lord, let it give me bountiful of harvest. I offer my prayers to you every day. The sun god, the water god, the air god, and the fire god. And everything is perfect, and I have a bountiful of harvest. Te deva bhavayantu vaha. Vaha means plural, you, all. They are pleased with you, they are happy with you, and they shower their blessings with you. In modern language, dear, don't disturb the ecological balance. The main theme is don't disturb the natural ecological balance created by the Creator. That is the main idea. Don't play tricks with it. Behave the way as God enjoined on you to behave. Parashparam bhavayantaha. You and those aspects of natural phenomena, those aspects of primordial energy, when you are interacting in such a harmonious manner, Parashparam bhavayanta param sreya avapsata. You will achieve the supreme goal. How? By stages. You will have whatever you want to have in this world. Then as because everything in this world is transitory, it will come because you have produced it by your good deeds. It will stay with you, give you blessings for it, and then it will disappear in time. You will see to that yourself. Oh dear me, it is gone. And you will understand, because I created with my good acts and deeds, that is why it came to me. As I created in time, it stayed in time and disappeared in time. And my life has spent after chasing transitory things of life. Is there anything which is permanent? Param Shreya. You get Shreya first, and then you graduate into Paramashreya, which you will receive. These two shlokas tells you in modern language how to live in this world with nature, in nature, without violating the laws of nature. And if you do so, nature will be bountiful to you, and all your worldly desires of wealth, power, fame, and whatever you say, prosperity in all points of view will be achieved by you, will be available to you by their great blessings. And a time will come when you will understand it is not everlasting. I have only one life given to me. I do not know what is in store for me next. And if I don't make use of this life of me, cautiously, carefully, understandingly, I'll spending my life on transitory things and have to come back again, facing all this rigmarole. Why don't I, in the remaining period of life, with this experience of transitoriness of the world, I never look back again. I look towards my goal to find my soul. Param Shreya Vapsata. With their help, you fulfill all your desires, and having had your desires fulfilled, in point of time you see they are disappearing one by one. And you feel bad about it. Why is it not everlasting? But the definition of the word Jagata means Gacchati iti Jagata. That which is in a perennial flow is the world. So there is a perennial immortal identity in a changeful world. I would like to have that. I have enough of this alam pratyayavan. I am tired of this unending form. Devan bhavayata anena. Your part of the duty. Anena, with this attitude, with this self-imposed discipline, you propitiate, you pray to all the forces of nature with whose benign bounty your life becomes prosperous. They will respond to you, cause and its effect. Infallible law of cause and its effect. Devan bhavayata anena. Anena te devan bhavayata. You do it like that. In return, they will look after you. Parashparam bhavayanta. This mutual interaction between you and the forces of nature will ultimately lead you to fulfillment of all your desires, so that you see through the ballgame and you are no more attracted by the desires of the world. The only desire left is to know thyself. And that is an eternal desire, and the result is removal of your ignorance, not creating anything. That is the eternal source. There's a beautiful argument in our scriptures. I'll just touch it now because it is relevant. You know, there's a question among philosophers. When you do an enormous amount of sadhana, then you achieve siddhi. So you're creating your siddhi. What is the distinction between creating your yagya phala and creating your siddhi of sadhana? What is that? The same. That should be also transitory. The inner meaning is what you are creating to find God is removal of the dirt that is clouding your vision. That is being created, removal of your dirt. And a beautiful example is given, which I've told you many a times, a beautiful Belgian mirror. It's a family heirloom. Somebody, to protect it, kept behind their wardrobe. so that it is not spoiled. And everybody forgot. After 2 or 3 generations, the whole house was being renovated. And while removing that wardrobe, you find a beautiful golden framed, a sheet which has lost its reflectivity. You don't know what it is. So you go to have a spray, one of those glass cleaners, with a mop linen, you start. You are working. What are you working for? To remove the dirt on the mirror. You are not creating the capacity of reflectivity, which is already there. Your action is producing removal of dirt, and the mirror comes to its original form. Similarly, sadhana in spiritual life means you remove all your identities, which are not your true identity. Sadhana means I am not this body, not this mind, not this wisdom, intelligence, not this ego. I am what I am. It is experienceable. I know I am, but I can't explain to you who am I. I am. To know myself in my own true original nature is not being created. It is a perennial entity with you. It's permanent. What you are doing is removing the dirt over the mirror. Param Shreya Vapsata means having gone through this rigmarole, having gone through this ball game, you will come to know one day, slowly and steadily, that this is not worth following because there's no permanence in it and my life is flowing away. I must achieve that goal in this life because I don't know what happens to me next. It's not known to me. People say you'll be born again. I don't want a post-dated check. I want to have it here and now. Devan bhavate anena te deva bhavayantuvaha parashparam bhavayanta param sriya avapsata. So, live a moral, ethical, absolutely ecologically correct life in this world, in this nature. You will be rewarded with your desires, but ultimately the final desire will attain to you. Mumukshutta, I want nothing but to know my true origin. You will graduate into that. You can't jump classes. You have to go through the drill. So dears, we have covered the 2 shlokas today. We'll cover 2 more in our next session, and then we start practical lessons of how to be a karma yogi, which will lead you Paramashaya, ultimate goal, in this chapter. Thank you, dears. Thank you ever so much. May God bless us all.
Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.